If you work all the problem, you will not grow. If you work the right problem, you will. The way you grow a SaaS business is by identifying the most important thing that is constraining the business and then removing that constraint. The framework is called theory of constraints, and basically it goes something like this. A business, any system, but a business will grow until it hits its constraint or a bottleneck. And I want to use an example where it's a business I invested and I sit on the board, and I use this very specific framework to grow the business. We're 1 year in, but it picked up and is picking up even faster here. So the business does maintenance software for offshore. So it's a bunch of engineers that they have come up with a system to really handle maintenance operations for offshore. It's mostly oil and gas. So the CEO, solo founder, took me through the offices, showed me everything. In here we have like back office stuff. And then I looked at it and said, okay, sure, but where's your sales and marketing? And he had none of it. It was basically him, and then with the help of another guy that did all the sales. So they did maybe a little under 2 million of ARR euros. So pretty small outfit. Bootstrapped, but profitable. They did a lot of service revenue on top, so maybe sort of 4 or 5 million total top line. Small business, but doing fine. Very, very vertical, sort of niche product. Good product. However, it went something like this. If we draw his value chain and say, well, how do you make money? Well, you get leads through the door, like people, you get in contact with potential customers. Then you convert some of them to customers. Then you deliver them, like you do the onboarding, the setup, and so forth, so that you actually deliver them. And then you get to keep the ones that don't churn, right? So currently you have something like, let's say 2 million in ARR. And then we say, well, how many people do you sell every year? And he says, well, I sell maybe 4 new accounts. So I say, okay, so we have 4 here, 4 new sales. And let's say that each of these sales is about, let's say 50,000 euros, so $50,000. So okay, so it's like 200K a year that he's growing. He's at 2 million now, so he's going to grow 10% next year. Not super good, right? And how many can you deliver? Well, he could deliver all 4. That's not a problem. And how many does he keep? Well, he only ever had like 1 churn in the history of the business, because once his software logs in, it just stays forever. And the business was more than 10 years old. So let's just for all effects and purposes say that his churn rate is 0, right? So that means that he grows 4 times 50K, so that's 200K. Like in principle, this can grow to infinity, right? Because if he has 0 churn, it's just waiting it out. So then I ask, well, how many leads do you get so that you close the 4 customers? He says, well, we get maybe something like, it's hard because we have very long sales cycles and we talk blah, blah, blah. Okay, so down to it, they get something around 20. So his conversion rate here is 20%. His delivery rate is 100, 0 churn, do it like that. Okay. So now we ask, where is the bottleneck? Let's say if we doubled the capacity, and then we can do, so each of these steps has, could we do more or could we do better, right? So are we just increasing capacity that is more, or are we increasing quality that is better? Like we're doing a better job with the volume we have. So we can say, well, we have a 20% conversion rate here on customers. Could we do better? Could we close 30? That seems hard, right? So 20% is a pretty good conversion rate for enterprise software at this ticket size, 50K. But okay, we could potentially do better, but it would be hard. Is it difficult for him? Does he have capacity issues where he would just automatically close 8 customers if he had like twice as many people working on it? Like, no, he only has 20 leads and he has him and another guy, so this is just CEO-driven sales. So it's just like, he can work 20 leads a year, right? So he has 2 weeks per lead to work them, and he has someone helping him. So by adding more sales reps just to increase the conversion, it's not going to do anything. Are we going to do it better? That's going to be hard. Like, of course, you can always get better, but it's non-obvious how we move from 20 to 30%. Okay. And what about delivery? Can we deliver more than the 4? No, like whatever we sell, we deliver. So we have perfect delivery rate here. Could we do it better, more? No. What about churn? Can we go below 0? No. So there is no way to grow on this end of the business. So the only way to grow is there. We need more leads, right? I said, well, you need a sales and marketing function. Like, big brains on me, right? Duh. But of course he needs a sales and marketing function because this is the current constraint. This is the not the only, but the most profitable place to invest. So it doesn't matter if his delivery isn't perfect. It doesn't matter if his conversion rate isn't very good. Whatever it is here that we have the constraints. If we drive this to 100, we might get this to 20. And we might get this to 20. If this stays at 0, then what? Then we get 1 million, right? So by just getting more leads and running it through the same funnel, we can 5x the growth. Now, if we get 100 leads, can he actually work 100 leads and still close 20%? Maybe now he will start to suffer, right? So as soon as we increase this, we remove the constraint over here, we're saying, okay, we just increase the leads as much as we can, then likely we're gonna start to see something else here suffers, right? Maybe the first thing that will suffer is this. So maybe his conversion rate will drop to 10%, right? And maybe delivery can just about hang on here. So they will just keep it 10, let's say. But then if we actually get his conversion rate back up, it's okay, the new constraint now is the conversion rate sucks because they're just having too many leads. So we're gonna hire 2 new sales reps. We're gonna get them trained. We're gonna get back to the old conversion rate. So now we have 20 here. Now maybe delivery is starting to suffer because delivering on 20 new accounts, setting them up, onboarding them, doing all the thing is going to be really issue. So maybe we're going to struggle. We're going to see a lot of dissatisfaction. So we're going to go to 12 here and we're going to start to get some onboarding churn and something like this. Okay, so now we need to fix this so we can get back to 20 so that we can get back down to 0. The idea here is that if you look at your business as a chain or flow, there will always be one point in this flow where you have a constraint or bottleneck that if you release this constraint, you increase capacity here, everything else, the total throughput of the chain will move a lot faster. So when you're working strategically with a business, you need to understand the value creation flow in that business. You need to understand the numbers. Then you need to understand, well, is this number reasonable? Does 20% conversion, is that high or low? Is this like so far off best in class that we can increase it very easily? Or is it so good that it's going to be really hard to move significantly? And then you'll come up with, let's say, one area where you say, well, this seems to be the lowest and it seems to be the highest potential we can have for making an impact or making a difference in this business. So, and a lot of time and effort from an executive standpoint is spent evaluating the inputs you get from the teams and selecting where the actual constraint is, and then focusing the organization's attention on solving that problem while you ignore the others. And it is the while you ignore the others part that is actually hard from a leadership and a strategic perspective, but you've got to do it. It is the only way to actually grow. All right, I hope it helps. I hope it's useful. Thank you for listening.